Dear learners, I am Dr. Shweta Tripathi, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Engineering from School of Engineering and Technology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. I welcome you all in the MOOCs of Energy Resources and Conversion Process. In our previous module, we have discussed the biogas, how biogas is produced. In this module, we are going to discuss the biogas production plants. After going through this module, you will be able to know the process of biogas production. You will be learning the process parameters that are affecting the biogas production. You will also know the type of biogas plants that are available in India and the different types of digesters that we are going to use and what are their advantages and limitations. Biogas conversion process. In this process of conversion of energy from organic mass is mainly utilized in cell synthesis and formation of methane and carbon dioxide. Besides, some part of it remains in the effluent. The process includes hydrolysis, which is saprophytic bacteria converts complex organic compound into less complex organic compounds which are water soluble. Then acid formation. Acid forming bacteria degrades organic compounds to volatile fatty acids and ammonia. Then methane formation. Methane forming bacteria utilizes these acids to form methane. What are the process parameters that affect the biogas production? Because the process such as hydrolysis, biomethanation, it consists of three processes, and all these three processes we have discussed in our previous module. So what are the process parameters that are affecting this biogas production? As we know that all kind of organic waste such as kitchen waste, garden waste, cattle dung and sewage etc. can be used for the production of biogas. So the efficiency of the biogas production is affected by some of the process parameters, which are the amount of organic material, digestibility of the material and a combination of microbial and engineering factors. If we talk about a combination of microbial and energy engineering factors, they are organic loading rates, solid concentration, retention time, temperature, carbon to nitrogen ratio and toxicity. Amount of organic material, it is but obvious, whatever the amount we are going to feed in the digester, according to that only we are going to get the biogas, and from output and given input only we could calculate the efficiency. Another important thing is that what is the digestibility of that material. For example, the digestibility of the cow dung will be more than the digestibility of the leaves that are there. So it depends upon the amount and digestibility of the material both. Then third comes the combination of microbial and engineering factors, and in this I had given some examples to you. Organic loading rate, let's discuss one by one. Organic loading rate. Organic loading rate is of a process is a measure of how much organic material is fed to each cubic meter of reactor volume during one day. It means per day, per cubic meter, how much organic material is fed. It will be in kg of VAS per meter cube or COD per meter cube day. The biogas is formed from the anaerobic degradation of volatile solids. The volatile solids fed per kg in reactor will normally produces maximum biogas in the range of 0.25 to 0.70 meter cube depending on the operating conditions of reactor. Accordingly, the loading rate should be in the range of 1 to 1.5 kg volatile solids per meter cube digester per day, which is highly dependent on the reactor design. The biogas production is also affected by overfeeding or underfeeding of feed materials. In continuous feed digesters, the large fluctuations of flow and concentration of substrate will also give low biogas production, and volatile solids is measured as the weight of solids that is combustible volatilized at a temperature of 550 degrees centigrade. It is reported as a percent of the total weight of the manure sample. Methane production is often based on the volatile solid portion of the manure. Approximately 50 to 70% of the volatile solid can be converted to biogas depending on the design of the digesters. Then comes the alkalinity. Alkalinity of a liquid is mainly a measure of its acid neutralizing capacity. Carbonate, bicarbonate and hydroxide ions are normally used for as neutralizing agents. Then comes the pH value. The pH affects severely the biogas and methane production rate, which decreases with high and low pH values. The pH value should be between 7 and 7.4, and the dilution for water and fresh dung should be in the ratio of 1:1 by weight. The maximum percentage of methane can be produced in the optimum range of pH values 6.8 to 7.2. The methane forming bacteria cannot survive below 5.5 pH, while acid forming bacteria can survive up to 4.5 pH. So we could not go for the lower, we could not go for the higher. Therefore, the water is normally used for buffering solution and to be used in sufficient quantities for anaerobic digestion of fermentation process. The control of decrease in pH of an anaerobic reactor may be done by stopping the feeding and increase the buffering capacity, for example through adding some chemicals as calcium carbonate, sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydroxide. Then third is temperature. The biogas production is highly dependent on operating temperature of anaerobic digester. Methanogenesis is also possible under psychrophilic condition, temperatures below 200 degrees centigrade, but occurs at lower rates. The quantity and quality of biogas production is different in different temperature ranges. Optimum gas production is also found at 330 degrees centigrade and 520 degrees centigrade in mesophilic and thermophilic ranges respectively. The fluctuations in temperature in the range leads to inhibition of methane formation. Carbon to nitrogen ratio. Microorganisms need both nitrogen and carbon for assimilation into their cell structures. The carbon to nitrogen ratio varies from a feed step to another. It is mentioned as an important parameter affecting the biogas production. For example, for food waste it is 28 to 35 carbon to nitrogen ratio. For sewage sludge, carbon to nitrogen ratio is 6 to 8, and for animal manure without litter it is 11 to 25. So we can see that it is different for different feed stock. Then nutrients and trace elements. Microorganisms require the macro and micronutrients as trace elements such as phosphorus, nitrogen, sulfur, calcium, potassium, iron, nickel, cobalt, zinc and copper. These are essential required for optimum activity of the microorganisms involved in anaerobic digestion. The most important nutrients are nitrogen and phosphorus, and it has been suggested that the carbon, nitrogen and phosphorus ratio should be kept at a minimum of 100:28:6. Then hydraulic retention time. Hydraulic retention time varies with operating temperature of the anaerobic digester. It is defined as the average time a volume element of the liquid medium resides inside the reactor. A better production of biogas found at an increase in HRT, hydraulic retention time, if all other parameters are kept constant. Anaerobic digestion can be performed with a relative short hydraulic retention time, that is high rate system, or with long hydraulic retention time, that is low rate system. Low rate systems are normally used to digest slurries and solid waste, while high rate systems are usually used for treatment of wastewater. Then comes the toxicity. Toxicity or methanogenesis are more important to any kind of toxicity in comparison to other microorganisms in anaerobic degradation. Degree of mixing. Degree of mixing is a control process to keep uniform the pH and the environmental conditions of the slurry in the digester. It distributes the buffering agents throughout the reactor volume and prevents localized buildup of high concentrations and intermediate metabolic products which may inhibit methanogenic activities. Now comes the types of biogas plant. Anaerobic digester design has continued to evolve over the years, but systems have generally variations around the theme of the floating dome and the fixed dome design. Often construction materials vary or loading positions differ. Some of the most common biogas plants that are recognized by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, are floating drum plant with a cylinder digester, we call it KVIC model also. Then fixed dome plant with a bricked reinforced molded dome, it is known as Janta model. Then comes the floating drum plant with a hemisphere digester. Shape of digester is changed, but other things are similar to KVIC model. It is known as Pragati model. Fixed dome plant with a hemisphere digester, it is Dinbandhu model. Then floating drum plant made of angular steel and plastic foil is Ganesh model. Then floating drum plant made of prefabricated reinforced concrete compound units, and floating drum plant made of fiberglass reinforced polyester. Based on feed method also we classify biogas plants. These are batch plant, continuous plants and semi-continuous plants. Batch plants. Batch plants are filled with slurry or waste once and used to take the biogas till the material is digested. Then the material is removed from the plant completely from the digester. The major drawbacks of batch plants are waste is not completely digested, biogas is not formed uniformly leading to the uninterrupted supply of gas, and the most tedious work is to empty the digester for fresh material. It is highly labor intensive work. Then continuous plants. These are fed continuously and digested material automatically comes out through the overflow whenever new material is filled in. The waste material is first converted to fluid form, generally by adding the appropriate amount of water. Biogas production is better and uniform in continuous fed plants than that of the batch plants. Today, nearly all industrial or commercial biogas plants are operating on a continuous mode. Then comes the semi-continuous plants. These are fed once or twice a day and digested materials comes out due to gas pressure and fresh feeding. Most of the domestic plants working in India are semi-continuous types of plant. The solid waste is mixed with water in appropriate quantities and then fed into the plants at one time or two times in a day. Then comes the process in digester. What are the process that is going to be in the digester and how it is done? The vessel or container that is used for degradation of these organic materials or anaerobic digestion is normally termed as digester, and the process is known as biomethanation. And this conversion process of solid biomass to gaseous form takes place by their transition phases. In the first step, the fresh slurry or sludge is fed into the digester from different layers according to their density change during the digestion process. Inorganic materials, being heavier than organic part of slurry, settle down at bottom and create two layers of high solid contents, that is inorganic solids and fresh slurry sludge. In anaerobic conditions, the different class of microbes start conversion of material to form acids and gases. In this way, the material becomes lighter than fresh mass of slurry and it starts floating over the denser part of fresh slurry or sludge. Thus, most of the biological reactions takes place in this layer, which is named as supernatant. The material of this layer is better fertilizer than its lower layer. The gas evolved during the conversion of solids to gaseous phase is going to uppermost portion of the digester. Then comes the batch fed digesters. Batch plants are filled and then emptied completely after a fixed retention time. Each design and each fermentation material is suitable for batch filling, but batch plants require high labor input. As a major disadvantage, their gas output is not steady. A famous Chinese batch type is in the form of vertical diverter with push gas drum arrangement. The vertical cylindrical pit is filled with organic waste materials, so it could be solid or semi-solid, and an inverted drum of little fewer diameters is pushed over it. The floating drum has a supply pipe and wall to regulate the biomass. After some time, the materials start decomposing in presence of anaerobic microbes. The biogas production uplifts the drum and gas is filled in it. The biogas supply valve is open to use it for the domestic purpose. The major disadvantage is gas production is not steady due to the non-uniformity distribution of feed for bacteria, and the removal of digested material is labor intensive and a tedious work. Then comes the multiple batch digesters. In multiple batch digesters, continuous gas supply is required, which cannot be achieved in single batch digesters. The waste material was filled and removed alternatively to digesters. The advantage of steady gas supply was ensured in multiple batch digesters, but the removal of messy digested material by labor was still a problem in these systems. Then came the plug flow digesters. These digesters are used to treat the dairy waste, commonly with retention time between 20 to 60 days. These digesters are unmixed and work well for 8 to 14% of total solid contents. They operate in semi-continuous mode in mesophilic range. The reactor may be a horizontal tubular tank placed underground or on ground. Then comes the high rate digesters. The high rate digesters gave the maximum conversion of waste or sludge in shorter retention time in comparison to other conventional plants. There are two important operating conditions which must be maintained in the digester to achieve high rate of biogas production. First is optimum and constant temperature must be maintained, and second is constant mixing with pH values varying from 6.8 to 7.2 must be maintained. The heat exchanger and mechanical mixing arrangement is incorporated in the digester. The constant temperature and mixing provide the better conditions for the growth rate of microbes. The optimum temperature in mesophilic or thermophilic range help in maximum conversion of material, either total solid, volatile solid, chemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand to biogas. So maximum conversion of material to biogas takes place. In India, we are generally using two types of biogas plants in rural areas. First is floating drum biogas digester and second is fixed dome biogas plants. In floating drum biogas digester, there are different type of floating drum plants, but KVIC model with a cylindrical digester is the oldest and most widespread floating drum biogas plant in India. A floating drum plant consists of a cylindrical or dome-shaped digester fitting with a moving floating gas holder or drum. The gas holder moves up and down on a guided frame which floats either directly in the fermenting slurry or in a separate water jacket. The internal or external guide frame provides stability and keeps the drum upright. The biogas produced in digester is stored in floating drum and moves it up due to gas pressure. If gas is consumed, the gas holder sinks back due to its weight. Animal and human waste are normally digested in these digesters. This digester is usually made of brick, concrete or quarry stone masonry with plaster. The gas drum normally consists of 2.5 mm steel sheets for the sides and 2 mm sheets for the top. It has welded-in braces which break up surface scum when the drum rotates. The drum must be protected against corrosion. Suitable coating products are oil paints, synthetic paints and bitumen paints. The gas drum is having a slightly sloping roof to protect from rusting in rainy season. Floating drums made of glass fiber reinforced plastic and high density polyethylene have been used successfully, but the construction costs are higher compared to using steel. Advantages of this kind of plants are easy in construction and operation, provide gas at a constant pressure, gas volume can be estimated easily with drum height with respect to its position, less chances of leakage of gas. And the disadvantages are transportation to remote villages is difficult and expensive, cost of a steel drum is high, corrosion problem occurs sometimes so maintenance is high, life of drum is short in comparison to masonry digesters. The daily input amount of slurry is fed once or twice a day. The capacity of 2 to 20 meter cube plants is used by farmers for their domestic needs. The bigger plants are of capacity 25 to 140 meter cube and are constructed and used by institutions or industries. In between the gas layer and supernatant, the messy and low density material form a thick layer which is named as scum layer. In practice, the scum layer must be broken to avoid the accumulation of gas in lower layers of the digester. Since the accumulation of gas will inhibit the gas production by decreasing the growth rates of microbes, the mixing is an essential part of the digester to break the scum layer in addition to distribute the microbes and solids uniformly for better conversion process. Then comes the fixed dome biogas digesters. Janta and Deenbandhu fixed dome models are most popular designs in India. In Janta model, the construction leads to cracks in the gas holder. Very few of these plants have been gas tight. Deenbandhu with improved design is mostly constructed in villages. It is more crack proof and consumed less building material than the Janta plant with a hemisphere digester. The cost of a fixed dome biogas plant is relatively low. In addition to low maintenance cost, it is simple and has no moving parts. The plant is constructed underground and helps in tempering the temperature fluctuations too. While the underground digester is protected from low temperature at night, and during cold season, sunshine and warm seasons take longer to heat up the digester. The complete digester system requires several components, which are digester, inlet mixing tank, outlet tank, gas outlet, pipe, pipelines and walls, manure collection pit, gas utilization appliances and water removal. The fixed dome plant consists of a dome-shaped or spherical shaped digester with fixed gas holder and displacement pit, also named compensation tank. When gas production commences, the slurry is displaced into the compensating tank. Gas pressure increases with the volume of gas stored, that is, with the height difference between the two slurry levels. If there is little gas in the gas holder, the gas pressure is low. The digesters of fixed dome plants are usually masonry structures. Advantages of these plants are: cost is low, lifespan is long, the design is compact and saves space and well insulates due to earth cover. And disadvantages are: highly skilled mason is required, excavation can be difficult and expensive in bedrock, fluctuating gas pressure decreases utilization efficiency. Applications: application of biogas are in production of energy for heat, light and electricity, transformation of organic waste into high quality fertilizer, reduction of volume of disposed waste products, improvement of hygienic conditions through reduction of pathogens, worm eggs and flies, encouragement of better sanitation, reduction of workload mainly for women in firewood collection and cooking. If it is purified, it could be used in internal combustion engine as well. We could enrich it also for the application in internal combustion engines. Environmental advantages through production of soil, water, air and woody vegetation. Microeconomical benefits are there through energy and fertilizer substitution, additional income source and increasing yields of animal husbandry and agriculture. Other advantages are macroeconomical benefits through decentralized energy generation, import substitution and environmental protection. Thus, biogas technology can substantially contribute to conservation and development if the concrete conditions are favorable. However, the required high investment capital and other limitations of biogas technology should be thoroughly considered. So, in this module, we have learned the technologies developed for biogas productions, and we had seen that they are simple and could be managed at village level. Raw material for biogas is not only limited up to gobar or cow dung. It has shifted with number of biomass such as kitchen waste, vegetable waste, water hygiene, banana stem, poultry waste, piggery manure, etc. The compost obtained from biogas is better than farmyard manure and maintain the nutritive value of soil. We had discussed the biogas plant which are commonly used in India. We had discussed the types of digester. We have discussed batch, continuous and semi-continuous plants as well. We had discussed the relative advantages. We had also discussed the type of plant which is most suitable for Indian scenario. We had also discussed that these could be better utilized in the village and could be an alternative source for production of energy in rural areas or suburban areas. Thank you very much.